Welcome to another episode. Wealth is Gangster, man. We talking about the market family up in this building again, but we just sitting here talking. But yeah, what I was saying is I was getting the guy. He called me. He put his first $10 in the Robinhood, and he had bought Apple without even knowing it. But when he bought it, that's yesterday. When he bought it, and $10, then it went down to like eight something. You know what I'm saying? So he was
Mhm.
kind of. I said that's when you buy more. When you got money, that's when you buy more. So we were just walking through the steps, and I could tell while we was talking, going over it, he was starting to get it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being scared, he started realizing that okay, because now I'm telling about his average going down because what he bought it at now it went down. If you buy more, when it go down, your average come down. So when it shoot up, we were
Yeah.
just going through the whole different thing. And I said, like I told him, he bought some like $10 worth of Bitcoin too. And I'm like, man, you feel like that ain't nothing. You're like in the top 10% right there just with that $10 Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
as far as the future, the way things going, like he was like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, man, you just gotta understand. Just keep, just keep every time you got some loose money, put it there. He's like, when I pull it out, I'm like, no, I don't teach that. Like if you want to the money that you can put in and out, just go put it in your bank account and do it like that.
Mhm.
What we going through, you should be not even worrying about it for the next 5, 10 years. You know what I'm saying? If not
Yep.
longer. So, we were just going through. He was like, yeah, so this is a savings. I'm like, basically it's a savings, but you buying into companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, where we always trying to start a company. Now you automatically own a piece of Apple. He was like, I own a piece of Apple. I was like, yeah, that $10. You see that
Yeah.
zero zero? That's
Mhm.
your piece of Apple.
Yep.
I just love because I remember when I was starting to catch it, and when you see somebody that don't know nothing about this, is like speaking Spanish, and you talking to them about 5, 10, 15, $20, which might not seem like nothing in the big scheme of things, but just that his introduction to it, it was just like I love that part because I remember being there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so he called me today. He said, "Hey man, I told my wife we eat sandwiches tonight. I ain't going to go spend that." He said, "I'm gonna go spend $30 at a Mexican restaurant." He said, "Man, I'm gonna put that in my account." I said, "Yeah." I mean, I said, "I don't know if you want to tell wife that every night, but yeah, I said, yeah, but pick and choose. You know what I'm saying? When you can
Yeah.
do that, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying?" But he was just so excited about it. So that's my little tidbit. You know what I'm saying? How you doing though?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Working, getting the course
Yeah, that's what we
ready,
was talking
and
about before we came on, working and working, huh?
yeah, you know, my two jobs just a little bit different than everybody else's.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure, for sure.
you know, so I'm working on my stuff too at the same time. So that's all I've been on, really getting all that stuff ready and sending out stuff, trying to market it a little bit, trying to get the pre-sales in. Yeah, that's the big thing. Watching the market, was watching some stuff today, bought some stuff yesterday. So yeah, that's you know, dibbling dabbling.
Yeah, yeah. So, and that's what one of the things I want to talk about tonight is kind of like what I was just telling you about of what, because that's what he was talking about, strategies in the market.
Hmm.
Like just when you're developing a strategy, when you're trying to figure out what do you do, how do you do it. I mean, I got some points of view that I might, but I want to start off with you tonight. Like if someone's sitting down and they ask you, and you trying to talk to them about a strategy, you trying to coach them into thinking of a strategy or something, how would you go about that as far as how do you build a strategy for maybe the short or the long term? Because it's different strategies, depending on,
Yep.
and it's higher risk and it's lower risk. So
Yep.
all that, it depends on the person, of course. But
Hmm.
when it comes to just strategies in the market, break it down either younger, older, high risk, low risk, however you want to do it. But just talk about the strategies when it comes to the market.
See, the thing about that, most people don't understand risk, right? So, especially if they never been in the market. So, if they never been in the market, brand new, day one, I'm going to give them the easiest way possible, and that's to invest in an index fund, S&P 500, Dow Jones, something like that, Nasdaq. Throw it in there, own a piece of 500 companies, 100 companies, 2,000 companies, whichever one you invest in, and then do that. Don't you, that way you don't have to look at it every day. You don't have to worry about if it's going up and down. You know what I'm saying? You got so many companies that over time you're gonna do well. Like it's just historically proven to do that. So that's what I would tell somebody that's just starting out day one. Because if we're going over risk tolerance, everybody's gonna say that their risk is higher than what it really is. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like, yeah, my risk is, I'm willing to go. extreme, you know, and then you give them extreme, they lose a little bit. Now they're like, oh, hey, we got to stop this. So it's never people starting out. People are never what they say they are. It's never like, oh, I want to be super extreme or I want to put all my money in this. Starting out, you don't want people to lose money because if they lose money off rip, right? They're gonna be like, I'm done. This is a scam. They're taking my money. I'm done. Like,
throwing in the towel.
Yeah. After losing $5 or $10, so it's, I mean, yeah, that's the easiest way I would break somebody in, and then later on, after they got some knowledge about some stuff, if they want to take more risk and do stuff like that, then we can get into something like that. But starting out, just the index fund.
Yeah, and like you say, it's definitely dependent on the person. Really short term, long term. I only teach because of the demographic of people that I ain't even say teach. Only coach and try to walk people through because the demographic. I have to do it long term. I can't get into the fancy where we can make money because that's gonna dilute everything. And he was asking me today about selling and stuff. I was like, hey. Learn that you're in your first step. First step is every time you got loose change, you put it into this and you buy a piece of a company. We're not thinking about taking that. We're not thinking about this. We're not thinking about that. Forget about all that. This is phase one. And once you get phase one down, then we'll talk about other things and this and that and this. And so I learned by just trying to throw everything at them, like option trading, buy for the long haul, crypto, throwing all that out at one, it's already confusing. Just one of those by itself is confusing to a person that never did it. So I realized my first step is just long term, buying to good solid companies, like you said, S&P, and my favorite thing is to tell people, because they always say, well, what do I buy? I say, where do you spend the most money at? So that's one of the strategies. It don't mean that it's not as well. If you spend money like at Walmart, different places, those businesses we know gonna be around, and I always think about it. I tell people like Facebook, think about stuff that ain't going nowhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? And especially if you spend money there, you on Facebook all day, you should own some Facebook stocks. You know what I'm saying? If you're in Walmart all the time spending money, you should own some Walmart stock. So that's my first initial step to kind of like simplify it to people, because we get in talking to people that don't know about it. Definitely, I can't talk about, well, study this and look at the what they made this year and the CEO. That's how people really would coach you, but that's a higher level of coaching. You can't tell somebody that don't even know what's going on. You try to break down what they brought in last year, what they lost, this and that and this. I start off with just where you spend the most money at and companies that you realize that you think is going to be around forever or long haul. And I think and I had a mentor some years back, and he was like, man, that's one of your gifts. And he was like, when the rooms we be talking like high level stuff. And then he see when I talk to the everyday person, I'll be like, okay, what they really just said is woo, woo, woo. And he was like, that's your gift right there. You can take high level information and you just tell them the same information, just the simplest way, talking my lingo that I'm used to. I understand what they're talking about, but the way I'm going to talk to my homeboy that don't know nothing about that is just they words through our lingo. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's like, that's a gift. And I didn't even realize that, but he was just like seeing me deal with people and stuff. He's like, man, that's a gift right there. I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, yeah, man. Like, we just had some high level stuff. You told them the same thing and then used none of the big words, none of the this and that. And you made it seem like it was just ABC to them. I said, because it is. He said, but no, you translated it without even knowing, though. I didn't even realize I was doing it. I was just telling him. I was like, oh, yeah, what they really just talking about is this, and this. He was like, man, that's a gift right there. Like, you could take high-level information and translate it without even knowing. Just and that's when I start catching on to it. I do be telling them this and that, but I'll be saying it in our lingo, and they be like, oh, yeah, for real? They get it when I say it, but if they just listen to that person right there, they're like, man, I'm lost. What is he talking about? So, yeah, strategies definitely, I would say, like, solid companies that you believe in going to be forever. And if you really new to it, like you said, S&P stuff like that, that's solid stuff. And you got to think about it long haul. If you, I don't even want to have nobody come into this game through me thinking about like day trading and trying to make some money tomorrow. Because I'm still in my baby stages of that. So, and I understand how like you got to be on point for that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And you got to have a lot of money. Day trading,
Yeah,
25 grand minimum, you know?
that too. So I think the first and see what and the reason I do that because everything I do is off what I learned, right? Because this was like Chinese to me. But I realized, you know how many years I told you about the times I had Bitcoin at $16,000, sold it at 20, thinking I'm just buying low, selling high, not even, you know, I'm just lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? But it's how many years I went without messing with the market because I was like, I don't even want to deal with it until I can trade. Like I want to learn because I was seeing people make big money off the trade. I'm like, I mess with the market more serious. I got to learn trading first. But what was happening? I was never learning trading. It was like I get on there for a little bit, start looking at all these charts and stuff, and get off of it. Then it'd be another 3-4 months, 5, 6, 7 months. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll try it again and join a program or something. And I was just like, you know what? This whole time, what I should have been doing is using it, like I told you, as a savings account and buying into companies while I learn, if I learn or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm still not the best trader that I want to be, but I done ran up a six-figure portfolio by just putting money into the market, buying solid companies.
Yep.
And I'm still learning though. While I learn, you see, that's what I'm saying. Like if I would have been doing that from the beginning, it'd be double, triple because this stuff was so cheap back then. You know what I'm saying? But I kept saying, nah, man, I want to learn how to trade. I need some thousands of dollars, and I'm gonna day trade, and I'm gonna make that money like that. And I had no focus on not just buying to the market. You know what I'm saying? The stuff you was talking about then. I was like, nah, I heard but I can get there. I can get there fast if I learn this trading. But okay, but you ain't never learning it, so you still ain't getting there. You know. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I the way I try to pass on the game is the way I messed up in it. And I messed up trying to hit them quick licks, trying to learn how to get rich. Like my mentor today or yesterday, he made like $80,000 in an hour. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be making my little 1,000 or something. But if back in the days, I'd have been so obsessed with that, my portfolio, because I'll be trying to worry about how he made 80,000 instead of realizing that he got years in this game. He paid his dues, and he the first one that I heard say, man, I was an investor first. Then I became a trader. I was a multi-millionaire through my stock portfolio. Then I started 5x, 10x through the trading. You know what I'm saying? But I was an investor first, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm missing the ball. And that's one thing about us. We got to be constantly learning and don't be so locked into a game plan or something that's just gonna have you just you thinking you're getting there faster, but when you look at it, it's years and years go by that you never even learned the skills. So really, you're getting there a lot slower.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I want to put out there too. Like when it comes to strategies, don't do the market if you don't have 5, 10, 15, 20-year plan out top. You know, if you got a plan like that, you'll get there faster having a long-term plan than you will trying to hit a quick lick and have a short-term plan.
Yep.
So what do you feel about that? You know, everything I was just talking about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because, you know, people making that type of money, 80 grand, 6 figures, they putting in a lot of money for these trades. You know, it's not like they putting in 1,000 or 2 and making 80. You know what I'm saying? No. Most of these guys are putting in 6 figures, you know, 100, 120 grand, but making 80. So they're making 75% profits or whatever the case may be. So stuff like that. But yeah, and to your example, your mentor who said he was an investor first, I guarantee he used that money that he made in the stock market to start investing in the other stuff you know. So it wasn't like he had to save all the money himself. He just put it in, let it grow, and then use that money to start trading. So it like compounds on itself. It's a self-propelling, you know, motor. You know, if you put into it and you start investing, keep investing as it grows, then you'll have more money to do stuff with and be able to do different things because you'll be learning at the same time. Because now you got different problems, right? When you start out, you might have a little bit of money, so you're like, oh, my problem is how am I going to grow this money, right? Now you keep doing that over years, and now you got a lot of money. Now you're like, okay, how am I going to grow this money? Now it's a different thing, you know. So it's different growing $5,000, $10,000 versus $200,000, $300,000. So when you got that type of money, it's like, all right, now I got to find the next thing. You know, how can I make this go quicker? So that's all it is. That's the game. It's continually learning, continually finding the next step to do to get to where you want to be. So yeah, I'm all for it though. Yeah, you definitely got to be an investor. Like if you just start out trying to day trade, find me somebody anywhere who just jumped in day trading and multimillionaire from jump. You're not gonna find there's no stories about that. People, all the courses and stuff you see, not so much anymore, but they always advertise on like the quick money that they made, right? But they don't talk about that it took them years and years to get to that level. You know, it's like, oh, I made this much money today. Okay, cool. But okay, I made 80 grand today, but I also invested 160 grand to make that 80 grand, you know, and I just made a 50% profit. So like they're not always telling the full story on stuff. So it gives little traders false sense of hope. You know what I'm saying? Like we can go in with $500 or $1,000 and pull out $80,000 days. Like that's not happening. It's not happening at all. But that's what people think, you know. So it's setting expectations too, being a realist with it. Like, look, you probably not gonna make 80 grand, but if you got $1,000, you can make $200 or $300 in a day, easy. You know what I'm saying? So like setting those expectations for people is really important, especially when it comes to courses and stuff like that.
Yeah, and just learning the art. Like I used to be in a rush to make all that money. Now I realize that this is a skill set in art that you need to learn and really understand it. And what I love about the way he teach, he paints that picture for you. And he goes through all that, you know, what he puts up to lose, where he got a stop loss at, you know. So he breaks every part down, but he always talk about the skill set, how important it is what you're learning. Like we when we think about a skill set, we thinking about football, basketball, how cold your crossover is, or that boy can run. He run a 4.2 flat. You know what I'm saying? To us, where we from, that's a skill set. This is one of the best skill sets that you can learn, because as long as you got a finger and your brain is functioning, even if nothing else can move, you can make money for the rest of your life if you develop this skill set. All you need is a functioning brain and a couple fingers that can press buttons or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why when I try to teach the youth, I want them to understand we got to start looking at these other things as just as more important as skill when it comes to skill sets. Like this is a skill I'm really trying to master now, not just trying to get in and make some quick money. Because I realized the first thing he ever told me, he said, "Man, if I can show you how to make 100, I can show you how to make 1,000. I can show you how to make 10,000. I can show you how to make 100,000. I can show you how to make 1,000,000, because it's the same thing. The same thing it takes to make 100 is the same thing it takes to make 1,000,000. You're just your size of your account is bigger, like you said. You know what I'm saying? You just got to have more money, but it's not a different skill. Making $100 and making 100,000 and making 1,000,000 is the same skill once you got the money accumulated. Because now you just going from one contract to now you buying 100, 200 contracts. That's the only difference. So the skill is what's important, because you know, and that's the part when I start looking at it like that, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm chasing this money, trying to hit this bit, instead of realizing that I need to know this skill, master this skill. Because I'm talking about, like, man, I deal with some people that I'm talking about. I've been following for a couple years now, and everything, why it's happening, when it's happening, this gonna happen in the next 3 months. Like it's mind blowing. But I realized that's a skill. They've been in this 10, 15, 20 years. They know why it's going down when it's going down. They know where the level at, where the next buy zone. If it go through this buy zone, then it's going to this buy zone. If it rejects off this buy zone, it's shooting back up to this and this and this. And you're like, dang, how do you do that? But now that I've been watching it for the last year or two, I'm starting to see the patterns in everything. It tells you what it's doing. Like every stock, it tells you. But at first, I used to tell people, man, this is like Chinese on the screen. Now I'm starting to understand the language more and more and more and more. That's a skill set, you know. And
like that's a skill set that most people are not gonna master. That's why I teach the way I teach, because I don't expect most people to be sitting reading charts, knowing what a cup and handle is, and knowing the candles going up, and when it's rejecting and when it's hitting resistance and all that type of stuff. Most people not gonna know that, right? So, and most people don't care to know that. They're just like, how can I make money? And I want it to be easy, right? So that's kind of how my style is. Like, hey, all right, you're gonna be able to make money, and it's gonna be easy. You're not gonna have to worry about all the stuff that you don't want to do. So yeah, you just got to find a system that works for you and that you're gonna stick to, right? And then work with that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not even me. I learn charts and stuff like that, but I don't sit down and do charts every day. I don't sit down and look at charts for every stock I buy because I don't have the time, and I know that. So I have my consistent investments in certain things, and then when I do have a little extra money and I do want to, in time, and I want to play around with that, then I'll do that. But other than that, I'm just consistently investing in the things that I know that's going to be good and just rolling with that.
Yeah, and that's why like I say, my strategy for the people I teach, I was going off on what I'm learning, but that's like you said, that's another level. That's something most people I don't even. That's what I'm saying. I don't even teach that part. That was just me talking about something personal because I teach long term because I don't even want to get into all that because it's all over the place for me. So I'm definitely not going to try to spill it to the next person about that. But it's just what I was speaking on when I brought him up. It was just that skill set on any level of that. Even what you're saying, just buying into the guy that I was helping. He's building a skill set. Now he's building a mental skill set that every time I got a free $1, I'm putting it into this account and I'm gonna buy a piece of an American business. That's a skill set too. Training yourself to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so those are the ones that's more applicable to the demographic and the people that I'm trying to help out. That's the type of skill set I push out. But you know what I'm saying? What I was just talking about is more of a high level. Something that I never push off, something that I'm amazed about because I'm chasing that skill set, me personally, not teaching it at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's why people don't get started investing because that's all they see. So that's what they think investing is. Yeah. They think, okay, if I'm buying stocks, I got to be looking at these charts. I got to learn this. I got to learn this, and like that's not what you have to do. But that's in my opinion, that's why most people don't start. Because they're intimidated by all that high level stuff.
That's true.
Because that's what they're seeing. That's what people are pushing. Stockbrokers and all that. Like, oh, you don't need to worry about that. Let me handle it. Let me do all this. Blah blah blah. Like, nah, you don't. I don't need to pay you. I can get the same results as you doing it on my own. And this is how. Boom, 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 boom. It all comes back to the whole knowledge thing that we've been talking about. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. And that's why I keep it simple. You buying into American businesses. You know what I'm saying? If you got Jordans on, you should have Nikes. I just keep it as like plain Jane, you know what I'm saying, easy as possible, just common sense stuff. Because that's that connects to the people more. Oh yeah. I do got 10 pair of J's in there. I do need to have some Nike stocks. You know what I'm saying?
You should have bought Nike a couple months ago when I was talking about it. You'd be almost double now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So and now it's just about once that click, because that's easy to click right there. I'm at Walmart, I should buy Walmart. I got Nikes, I should buy, I got Jordans, I should wear Nike. That part I see is easy. People catch on to that. Now once they get that, it's about I bought it at 90 and it's at 84 today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's good. Buy more. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I told him when he said about the Apple drop down. I was like, so I said, so if you had an iPhone, they had an iPhone for $1,000 yesterday, and today you can get 2 for $1,000. That would be a better deal, right? So I started just giving them just different ways to look at why a sale is better, because we look at the stock market crashing as a crash instead of a sale. We shop all day and we want the best sales in everything we buy, but we don't understand that that's a sale today. If you bought it for 10 yesterday, today it's $8.90. You catching a deal. You catching a break today. Grab that.
Yeah, that's why it's so funny that the psychology and mindset about that stuff, because like
we get you on,
talking about sales, right? So when you go shopping or something, you see a sale. It's what color is the sign? It's red, right? It's a red sale sign. So you know, like, okay, that's where I need to go buy. That's where I need to go look. But when the market's red, it's total opposite.
Yeah.
It's like whoa. I can't do that. I can't buy when it's red. Like you're already programmed to buy when it's red, but why is it different when it's in the stock market?
Yeah.
Or anything else? If it's a property or whatever the case may be, why do people act different when it's red in the markets versus red like at a sale? It's
that mental block.
Interesting. Yeah, it's
that mental block. Sure. And that's why I brought up the you know what I'm saying, my little homie that was doing that. I said that's a skill set he developing, because we don't have that skill set to be like, every time I got some free money, I'm putting it into the stock market. To me, that's developing a skill set, because we don't have that. So it was funny to see, because I remember when I started that way and I was doing that, but I didn't have nobody to walk it through me. So it walked me through it. So when I seen, I was like, okay, well, it shot up today. I should sell, right? I'm supposed to sell. I'm over here doing the dumbest, backwardest stuff, thinking I didn't hit a lick today because it's up $5 or something. And I'm like, not understanding the long term. And that's why I only teach long term, because that would have had me so much further if somebody would have been like, nah, bro, you tripping. Just keep putting it in there. Just basically, I mean, I ain't, like you said, don't need no charts or nothing. If somebody would just said, just keep putting it there, keep buying good solid businesses, do that. That's it. If I'd have just got those words right there, I'd have been in a whole different world.
Me too. Me too. Today, Facebook went up again. Every time I see Facebook, boy, my heart just hurt.
Yeah, I know it do, because every time it do, I think about you, because every show we own, when it do go up, you bring it up. I sold it. I had it.
So terrible.
And it ain't coming back down, man. It's going, like it's September. I know September. What I've been studying, well, it's been history proven, but the last couple of years, me personally, I've been seeing that's normally a month. I don't know if this year is different because of everything that's going on, but normally it's a pullback, because I got a few stocks on my list that I'm waiting on some kind of pullback for. So I'm hoping September be my time to get it to where I want it to be, or somewhere close in the facility. So that's another strategy too, when you do be buying companies and they go up. And like I said, if you dollar cost averaging and you just want to put in regardless, that's a cool strategy too, because over everything I've seen, buying it high, buying it low, as long as you're doing it consistently, you're gonna be good. Of course you don't want to just be buying nothing just all the way high and then it crash on you. So you gotta, but like solid companies like Facebook, when they pull back 10, 15%, 20%, that's exciting, because we know where it's really going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you got companies like that, that's great. Other companies, you really got to know what you're doing if they're not like the top, what you call the blue chip companies, the S&Ps and all that. When they pull back, we do the Birdman rub. We wanted to pull back as far as possible, because the far as possible is a better entry, because we know it's going where it's going back to. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So those are strategies too. But you just gotta understand, like you said, these sales. You gotta I always, this is what I tell people: if you're not dollar cost averaging, regardless, when it's red you buy, when it's green you kick your feet up and just enjoy the day. You know what I'm saying? Unless you just dollar cost averaging, and I'm one of those. I'm one of those, like, I pretty much put something in the market every day. Out of 5 days a week, if not 5 days a week for sure, I put something in there 4 days a week. I might miss a day. Today I missed a day, but I'm really not, because when we get done, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put some money in
crypto.
Yeah. I told you I'm crypto heavy, and next month I'm gonna start buying. I'm gonna start back on my dividend play. I mean my dividends. So I'm gonna start back putting heavy. But yeah, last 2 months it's crypto, because what I'm seeing myself and what my crypto teachers are saying, the crypto window for the ones that I'm after is shortening, because institutions going to get involved. You know what I'm saying? So this is the best. These are the best numbers we're going to be able to get them at, because when the big boys get involved, you know how that goes. You know what I'm saying? That's how Facebook went from 50 to 800, 700. The big boys involved. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we're not going to ever get Facebook at $50 again.
Nope.
Ever.
Unfortunately. Golly.
So a lot of my crypto plays are at that point right there. So that's why I'm so heavy on them. Not that I'm just all in crypto now. I still put some money in the market, but I'm heavy crypto right now, because I know that window is smaller for what the takeoff. I believe, you know what I'm saying. I believe in what my teachers believe where it's gonna end up being. Some people say crazy numbers, but just on the numbers that I see, those are crazy to me. That's a crazy flip that won't nothing else give me in my portfolio. So that's why I'm heavy on that right now. But now I'm definitely getting back on the. Let me shut this dog up real quick. Hold on.
Appreciate y'all for coming by. Y'all stop by us, shout it out. Appreciate it. Ishmael, appreciate you coming by, man. We know you showing us love most of the time, so we appreciate that. just giving a shout out to the viewers, man.
Yeah, I
People that was
appreciate everybody, man. You know, we're gonna be building. I was supposed to be going live from Facebook, but when I was trying to do it, I running around and got here the last minute, and it was telling me to hook up my card, but the Facebook my password. I don't know. I got I ain't did it in so long. It was telling me that was the wrong password, so I got to log into my Facebook to be able to go live. So definitely, I promise, I have it all hooked up next week. So we're gonna be going live from Facebook, so we can get into and more of the viewers. I don't know why every cat in the world he want to bark at like it's you never seen a cat before, dude. Like I need you to bark like that when somebody's too close to my house.
You know, dogs and cats, it's on site.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, with long play, man, that's the best, man. You know, unless you want to graduate to a different status, but like I say, that's just me personally. I want to be on that other status, but that ain't nothing I ever teach. So I just when I talk about that, I'm just talking about personally. But yeah, I'm definitely alone. Everything. I don't think it's nothing that I'm planning on selling. Nothing. No, I mean I don't even think my accounts are only for deposits, not withdrawals. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even plan to, like I don't know. I don't even think about it. Every time I deposit some money, I always say I see you in 20 years. That's just my thing. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even plan to see this money no more. To me, I'm hooking up my older self. And this is what I was telling my youngster earlier. I was like, man, I'm 42. Myself at 50 gonna love me what I'm doing at 42 for him, because all I'm doing is doing this for them. You know what I'm saying? But if I thought like that at 30, I about to been like, you know what? Let me hook up my 40-year-old self. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been in a different position. I wasn't thinking like that because I was thinking about what? I need to start a business. I need to make money now. I need to do this now. I need to try to get this. I'm worried about in the moment now, which is okay. But I wasn't worried about, let me go and start investing in the 40-year-old Tony. Let me make sure the 40-year-old Tony's straight. You know what I'm saying? So my strategy now is let me make sure the 45-year-old Tony straight, the 48-year-old Tony. By the time he get 50, I'm gonna make sure he's straight. If everything go wrong, he's gonna be a multi-millionaire off what I'm doing for him today. If all the businesses shut down just off my investments, I'm gonna make sure he's straight.
Yep, because the knees gonna start hurting, the back going.
Hey, I was in the pool yesterday, man. You know what I'm saying? I plan to be still. I seen a 71-year-old the other day, man, ripped up. I'm talking about still jogging and stuff. I said, yeah, that's where I plan to be. So I don't know if I'm gonna be there or not. You know what I'm saying? But I plan to be still straight. But I want them financial, my financials to be out of this world. You know what I'm saying? Because what the guy told me, he said, man, it's some 60-year-olds that feel like they 20, and there's some 20-year-olds feel like they 60. When it comes to finances and your life stresses and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? When you get yourself in different positions, man, I'm telling you that money start making you younger. You know what I'm saying? You stressed out and broke and stressing and working at a job you hate, and you hitting that 50 and 60-year-old self, that's hard. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. We got to, and it's not all about money. It's about freedom. That's what a lot of people, especially come from impoverished positions. They try to, I call it wealth shaming. You start talk about wealth, and all you think about is money. I'm saying all you think about is money too, because you're always talking about how broke you is, and you stressed out. But you try to demonize a person that try to tell you how to make it like this, how to invest, and you know what I'm saying. And what it is, it's a protective mechanism to make it feel comfortable being in that position. But you're gonna be uncomfortable around me. I don't care, because I talk about hey, so we just ain't gonna be able to hang around each other, because I'm not finna go. I'm not even finna you can't make me think like that. You know what I'm saying? If that's how you want to think, you're gonna at least pretend to be a different type of thinker around me.
That's how I am with so much stuff now, like traveling and stuff. Like I can't even do Motel 6s no more. Like I'm just so I'm not gonna say above it. That's not the word. I'm so accustomed to other stuff now. You know what I'm saying?
But you paid your dues to be above it, accustomed, however you want to put it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. But you've been there before. That's what I'm saying. You've been there. That's what I'm. See, that's the point. So that's what I'm saying. A person will hear what you're saying and try to, you think you're too good. No, that's wealth shaming. Just like y'all call it fat shaming and all that. Now you put in work, like they try to do. Like, okay, for example, like a Floyd Mayweather. He buy all this, he buy all that. And I was here, and some people flashy, some people ain't. That my thing is, if you can do it, you can do it. Ain't none of my business, right? But what I was listening to Big Ross talk to a dude about that. He was like, man, Floyd Mayweather deserved to do whatever. That man don't drink, that man don't smoke, he don't do nothing. He dedicated his life to this sport. He been running. He didn't have no Christmases or nothing. He been in the cold jogging since he was 5-6 years old, training his whole life. How many of us can say that we trained our whole life to be that great and made it to that high? And now we want to tell him what he should be doing with his money. You know what I'm saying? The people that ain't there, I ain't never in my life woke up and jogged at 2:00 in the morning and then went back and went back right to the gym at 3:00 that evening. That's dedication.
Man, there's some crazy stories about him. Like some crazy stories. Like I'll be in Vegas, so there's stories about this dude leaving the club at like 2-3 in the morning and then running home. Like just out there, get his security guards like, hey, follow me in the Rolls Royce, and I'm back there. It just
and when he was in the club, then drank nothing or nothing, just party, just celebrated with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everything was on him, just giving it out to him. But you'll never seen that man drink nothing, smoke nothing, none. It never indulged. He just like the light of it. You know what I'm saying? But that's part of dedication, because how many people would be like, man, I'm the champ, I'm the best. I could take a little sip. I could do that. I could do what I want to do. Nah, and still to this day. Same thing, you know what I'm saying? And he made great investments, like you say, long-term investments. So so that's what I'm saying. We got to start with the wealth shaming, and won't you just get you some? Like, we got so many people that don't got nothing but could tell the person that grinded and built that what they should be doing with their money. Yeah. But then when I tell you what you should be doing with your $300-$400 check, you take it personal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you tell this millionaire what they should be doing with their money. Oh, they should be doing more for the community. Them people they can do whatever they want to do. What are you doing for the community? And they got more money. Okay, let's do it. Let's compare it. They got millions, and they doing whatever. Say they doing $1,000, whatever. You got hundreds. Are you putting $20 into the community? Like we can put it on the same scale. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to put all your money because of that. So which one is it? Yeah. So we got to realize that instead of wealth shaming, let's build you some.
Yeah, because
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, in the world, it's like the U.S. is like the top 10% of wealth in the world, like the people in the U.S. So people who think they struggle.
Keep talking. I'm going to put this dog over real quick. Keep talking. All right.
So people that's in the U.S., they're like in the top 10% of the world as far as income and money and all this stuff. But we always talking about, not we. A lot of people are always talking about they broke and all this other stuff. Yeah, Ishmael, that's right. I can't bring you up on screen, but there is levels to attaining greatness, and working while people are sleeping is definitely one of those. And it's not even, you get to a point where it's not even you having to work, right? You make your money work for you. So one of the best quotes I've heard was from Warren Buffett, and it says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you're gonna work until you die. And that was one of like the light bulb for me that really got me investing and doing stuff, because I'm like, okay, this dude said, if I don't find a way to make money while I'm asleep, I'm gonna work until I die. I don't really want to work until I die if I don't have to, right? So I was like, all right. Now I looked at the dude who gave me the quote, Warren Buffett. I'm like, what does he do? He invests. Okay, what does he invest in? Like, why does he invest? So I was trying to figure all that type stuff out. And then when I started doing that, like my first few things, I was investing in what he invested in. And it's like, if this dude's a multi-billionaire, if I invest in the same stuff that he invests in, I'll at least get a little bit of that, right? So I might not be billionaire status, but I can make millionaire status if I put enough money into it and let it grow. I can make, all this other stuff. So there's different ways to it. And that's how one of the ways I started was Warren Buffett. Obviously a really good investor. I don't know his personal life, but him and Charlie Munger, they were great. I listened to the shareholders meetings. They would feed off each other and everything was good. You heard that same quote decades ago, stuck with you and working for me now. Yep, for sure. It definitely works. So a big thing is in this game is to find somebody that you look up to, mentor, whatever you want to call it, and model what they do. And that's what I did. That's how I started. Like I said, story with I was just telling Ishmael about he was putting that about finding ways to make money while you sleep, and I was telling my Warren Buffett story about the quote he has: "If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, then you'll work until you die." Yeah. And I was like, yeah, so that stuck with me. That was one of my big light bulb moments that really got me invested. And then when I first started, I invested in what he invested in. So it's like, okay, this is what he does. Now what did he invest in? Coke. Okay, I can get Coke. Coke was like 20 something, 30 something dollars at the time. I can get some of that. Now I couldn't get some of the $200-$300 stocks, so I can get $20, $30 stocks. So that's how I started. And then I still kind of do the same thing. I still every now and then look at the Berkshire Hathaway portfolio and see what they got going on, and then I'll invest in some of that stuff. Like, yeah, so it's finding a mentor and kind of just emulate what they do, right? So, like I said, he's a billionaire. I might not be a billionaire, but if I invest enough, I can get millionaire status. I can at least get a little piece of what he's getting. If I can even get 1% of what he's getting, I'll be a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? So,
he started at 11. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But if all I gotta do is get 1%, though, if I can get 1% of what he got doing the same thing he did, I'll be a billionaire.
Exactly.
So,
Ishmael, this is what I'm gonna get you on. We're gonna talk about some things. Definitely when talking about me and you, we discuss more of the lineage, and we be on that tip. But as far as our FBA groups and all that, this is part of what we need to really get to that freedom we talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to get in this game to really build the wealth that's going to take for the conversation we talk about when we talk about the freedom of FBAs and reparations, then all that different type of stuff. So I'm gonna have you on the podcast, and we're gonna get into our lineage talk. But this is part of it, because a lot of us, we just I got a couple guys that I'm cool with, but like I tell them, y'all, I ain't gonna say too woke, because I don't even really like the woke word, because I'm like, why we always gotta find a way to, like, it really like a kind of being funny, backhanded. Oh, they woke, because you'll never hear a person say I'm a woke Chinese or a woke Jewish person. They just grow up knowing their heritage and being proud of who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for us, if somebody's talking like that, oh, he woke person. Why you so you're not proud of who you are? You don't represent yours. So that whole thing is weird. But in our groups that we talk about, we have to get to this money side too. We can't just worry about the system and all that stuff, because I have a lot of guys I'll be telling, like, where they at is a losing strategy. And that's what I'm all about. How we gonna win? I don't get into the nitbits and this and that. Like, you know what I'm saying? How do we win as a people and in general, but as a people first, how do we win? A lot of us be too much on, and I'm super pro-black, but a lot of us too far with it, because we so pro-black that we broke and ain't doing nothing. You can be super pro-black all you want to, with no money, you get nowhere. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand how to finesse and navigate. And I'm for my people, but I understand that 40 to 50% of my people is going to be against me. That's proven in statistics, and that's proven in my work that I've been doing for the last 20 years. You know what I'm saying? These are just facts. You know what I'm saying? So we got to understand that, and me getting into this world is helping me become more free. So just imagine if all of our people was getting into this world. You know what I'm saying? How much more liberated and free, and from up under the working system and up under the poverty line and all that type of stuff. Like the person I was talking to today, and I told you last week about the lady I've been helping. She saved her first $8,000 in her brokerage account. Mm-hmm. That right there is how we get to freedom. If I can get Temple, Texas, the population of Black people, if just 20% of that population can walk around and say they got 5,000-10,000 in their stock brokerage, you know how game changing that is.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So that's part of what we talk about. But me and you talk about all that, man. That's my strategy for the community. That's why I get so many people started even when I be out there selling lunches and stuff, I got about 3-4 they older guys, and they got their account. They ain't put nothing in it yet, but they always want to show me that they got their account and they gonna do this. I said, school, man. I know you done bought you a couple 6-packs this week, man. You could have been put some money in there.
Yep. $5 at a time. That's all it takes.
You know what I'm saying? But that's my fight right there. Just trying to get many people as I can from my demographic to at least start, man. I tell you, I need to wait till I get my income tax and get some money. No, start with $10. Start with $20. Just start. I don't want to hear nothing about when your income tax come in. That's frustrating because when I heard that phrase, I know you ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, we just starting over here, man. That's all we want to do. We just starting.
Yeah.
Oh no, we ain't doing that. I got some shirts coming out, man, called conscious capitalist. No, we're not doing that because a lot of our ancestors, probably like the Black Panthers and stuff, they was against capitalism. You see, you're not gonna win. I don't care how pro-black you is, how against capitalism you in. You're not gonna. Tell me how you gonna win with that strategy? How? Everything we do, if you got a job, that's capitalism in America. Your job is, you know what I'm saying? That's a company that built the company, and you work for that company so they can make their product. That's capitalism. So a lot of our talking points are losing strategies, man. So yeah, we for the capitalism, but we tired of being on the wrong end of capitalism. That's the problem. It ain't the capitalists. It's the being on the wrong side, the wrong end of it, and that's what we trying to change here.
And that's a whole different thing, about being denied loans and not being able to get grants and all types of other stuff. So that's a whole big part of that. But real quick plug, go ahead and show the hoodie that you got on. If y'all into getting some merchandise, definitely get Wealth is Gangsta.
I mean, it'd be cold in here, so I'll be having my hoodie. That's what I'm talking about.
This is my boy's brand. It's called For My Family.
That's what I'm saying. I gotta give me a large, man. I need a large.
I just put the website in the chat, so you can throw that up. And go check that out. They got a whole bunch of stuff.
Let me see.
My boy be on it. So family in Italian, I think is what that is. So but yeah, we got merchandise and everything. Obviously, Wealth is Gangsta got some other stuff, that he got going on. So if ever y'all want merchandise, tap in with us.
Yeah, we just getting started, man. We got a lot of things we're gonna be putting together. Okay.
More stuff to come for sure. There it is, right there. ForMyFamily.com. Go check it out.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. And see, well, I just said Warren Buffett started at 11. See, we didn't start at that age, but what you doing for your kids is the Warren Buffett style. You know what I'm saying? They started. You started them before they even knew what it. So they growing up into it. You know what I'm saying? So really, they getting a better start than Buffett had. Everything was so cheaper then. So it. But
it's kind of relative.
In 20 years, 30 years, this gonna feel like cheap too. Everything we buy that we feel like high in 20 years, we're gonna be like, man, that was a steal to buy it at Facebook at 700.
Just like I did at Facebook. Just like I did.
Man. So I'm gonna tap in. We gotta tap in, man. I'm gonna put that in the description too, right at the description, and how we doing, man. But like these are strategies. When we talk about the strategy, we're not just talking about like the in the market strategies. We need to have a strategy on life. Like my strategy every day, from the cooking to the Wealth is Gangsta to the book, everything is strategized. That's all I do is think and strategize. And I got like people know, they laugh at me, man. I got so many notebooks. All I do is write stuff. I'm still old school with it. I don't do all that typing in your phone. All this right here, it just is plans. I mean, I can keep going, and I got more. That's what I'm saying. This is all I do. I still go and buy tablets and write. And I'm telling you, they all around me. They all around me, like literally. They all around me, literally.
Nice.
That's my strategy, and I'm thinking, I'm plotting, and I'm focusing on how do I expand this? How do I work on that? I'm listening to mindset videos. I'm listening to wealth videos. I'm listening to videos that tell me about the stock market. I'm listening to videos that tell me about private equity. Like, I'm immersing myself in a world.
Yeah.
But like you say, I'm extreme with it though, because I plan to be a billionaire by 50. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't got no, like, you can't, in that world, you can't play. Like, you know, like a lot of the stuff people do, if you go sit around some billionaires, most people wouldn't like them because they're so focused, they so driven. They don't do what normal people do. They don't play like that. They don't have the little chit chats and the little, you know, they just don't do that. You know, and you can say that that's not a good life, but that's you might not want that life. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna tell that person that made it to that and got itself to that? That's a better life. It's better life than I see every day with people struggling and playing too much. You know what I'm saying? And too unfocused. So that's where I'm headed personally. Personally, that's my focus. So I have to walk around like I'm a billionaire right now. And this sounds funny because I ain't even a millionaire yet. You know what I'm saying? But that's how you have to become that before you that. That's what I've learned.
Exactly. Yep.
Way before you that. You know what I'm saying? Before I had a 6-figure portfolio, I was telling myself, I'm gonna have a 6-figure portfolio. You know, I remember having like $800 in there, and I told myself what I was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And you grow into it, and you really start believing it and thinking it, and you move every day like that. Like the decision I make, I'm not gonna be out playing around and stuff. Why? Because I just told you I plan to be a billionaire while I'm 50. So you're not gonna see me at the club party, and you're not gonna see me doing this. You're not gonna see me on the outings, and that's one of the things that cost me a 30-year relationship. I'm not going out on dates, and I'm not doing all that stuff I used to do when I was a street dude and just blew money. I'm not buying all the Christmas. I'm not doing that because my purpose and my focus is totally different now. And some people could say that's too much, that's crazy, but this is my life. I lived I've been out on my own since I was 12. I lived all the lives. I like this one better. I like this more focused me better. I like this more poised and this more, I'm stress-free. I'm not worried about nothing. I'm not bothering nobody. I'm at peace. I wake up every day. And I love my life. I just wake up. I don't need no alarm clock. I wake up every day and just love life. Some people might say I'm too focused. Some people might say live a little, YOLO or whatever. I get it, but you got to understand for you what you want out of life. I got a homeboy that he got 3 kids. All he wanted to do was buy a house for each one of them and collect the rent and when they get 18 it to be theirs. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm not saying that everybody, but ain't nothing wrong with what I want either. You're not gonna make me feel bad because I want more. But if you just want, if you like, hey T man, if I can just get 50,000 in my stock portfolio, if I can just give me a nice life insurance plan, if I can just give me 1 or 2 houses that I can rent out, I'm at peace. I'm gonna salute you and hope you get that and try to help you figure out how to get that. But when it comes to me, I'm over the cliff with it, and don't try to talk me off of it. Just understand that he more serious than I am with it. I do, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yep.
You know, same way. And so that's why I want us to. That's why I brought up wealth shaming earlier, because we do that. We try to like judge and tell the next person, well, no, that's your strategy, and that's why I support everybody's strategy. Whatever you tell me you want, whatever you tell me I ain't into that, I do that. I like already because I see that's just your game plan and that's your focus, and I salute that because my whole thing is at least we need to have some kind of plan. Most people don't have no plan at all. So if you say, hey man, if I can just get 6-figure portfolio, I'm good. Great. That's a plan that most of us don't got. Okay, this is how you get that. You know what I'm saying? If you just want 1 or 2 houses and you good, that's great because most of us don't got that. This is how you get that. Get your life insurance plan too to back this up, and hey, be cool. You know, sit back and drink your beer. You in the top 10-15%. You know what I'm saying? Just by doing that. So I don't push what I want on nobody else.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people drop like, man, that's too much. No, that's too much for you. It ain't too much for me. I love my life.
Exactly. I'm built for this, you know.
You know what I'm saying? So that was a little going on, but it still goes back to strategy. So my strategy, but everybody's strategy is different, and that's a great thing. You know what I'm saying? Like so sometimes I was telling him yesterday, I'm like, even when I tell you it's not one way to get rich. So if somebody trying to tell you their way is the only way, they tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like it's 1,000 ways to get it. You got to ask yourself, what do you want? How much piece of the pie that you want? What you comfortable with? You know, you got to ask yourself those questions, and then you build a strategy on a game plan how to get there.
Yep.
You know, so
because everybody is different. Everybody don't want the same thing, which is great because I don't want everybody doing the same thing I'm doing. You know. Yeah. But yeah, you got to find your own way, your own route, and then go with it. Like
and be good with it.
That's you.
Yeah, and get around the people that'll help you accomplish that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the main thing. Get around people that's gonna help you accomplish that, man. Like so, if you just want you a couple houses and a nice portfolio, get around people that can. Man, who teaching about how to build up your portfolio over the long term? Who can show me how to get my first house and do like get around those people and accomplish that. And I'm gonna salute you because that's better than most.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's better than most, especially when you're talking about us. That's better than most.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing to me, man. So have a strategy. We talked about strategy, but strategy is not just in the market. Strategy is in life. And I think we all need to, you hear Kim, that was before we got on camera, but he's still in his outfit, his uniform now. You know what I'm saying? Like he got off work, on work, editing, getting ready for the drop the link for the kick off the website. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then now we got the little family, a website up. Like that's work around the clock. So even after he clocked out, and I said that in a song years ago, even if you got a job, have a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just depend on that job. Like even when I did work, and I haven't worked too many jobs in my life, but the jobs I had. When I got off, I was in the studio. When I got off, I was pressing shirts. When I got off, I was doing all kind of other stuff. It wasn't just no clocked out. And that's what I try to teach these kids because a lot of kids are being raised to be employees because they go to school from 8 to 3, just like a job, basically, right? And when they clock out, when they get off work, they just like the person, their mom and dad that clocked out. What most people do when they clock out, I'm off for the day. I ain't doing nothing. I'm kicked back. I'm gonna do this. So the kids are growing up in that environment. When I get out of school, I ain't doing nothing for the rest of the day. I'm done. I did my work for the day. And that's why I'm like, no, the day just started. You should go home and work on you. You should go home and work on your business. You should go home and read a book. And the kids in my program know. When I ask them, what have you read today? They already know because they used to say, well, at school, they know I don't count school. So when I ask you, what have you learned today? What have you read today? You got to tell me about something in life you learned or read. Not about, I don't count school. Whatever you read in school, that's cool. When you got home, what book did you read? Oh, I ain't read that. That's what I'm talking about then, because I want them to understand that life is learning. Like every day I wake up to learn and build and grow and put some more knowledge on my brain because I'm learning off life. And that's what you got to teach these kids, not to just be programmed and the only time to learn is in school. You should be learning. I could watch a cartoon and learn something because that's just where my brain is. I'm always looking to learn some or come up with something. So I'm always in learning mode, Yeah. And that's how I want the next generation, especially our kids, because other kids, like you go to China, they don't play about them kids, man. Them kids is militant, man. Them kids ain't doing no playing. I'm talking about, they got restricted hours on their phones. They got restricted hours on some apps they can't even use if you're under like 16 or something. And then even if you are on them apps, you can only use them for like 4 hours a day. Like the stuff is shut down on its own. Like it ain't even got nothing to do with your parent. That's how the government do that.
Yeah.
They not paying them because they understand the programming. And and I was having this conversation, a lady mad about they taking the phones out of classrooms in Texas. They were like, what if it's an emergency? I said, well, that's the problem because when they started letting kids go to school with phones, it was because for only emergency, right? But what them kids start doing, texting while the class going on, calling while the class going on, teacher telling them to put up. You can't tell me what to do. Teacher take the phone. See some students like swing on teachers for taking their phone. Kids don't play by no phone, man. They'll go to jail if you try to take their phone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you have to restrict that. You have to get that fixed because our kids are so programmed by these phones. And it's crazy because I see a lot of parents that give their kid a phone for the simple fact to shut them up. That's the only way they'll shut up. So here, just shut up. And that's a losing strategy. Going back to strategy, these are a lot of the reasons why we are where we at as a whole, because the lax the way we were raised, just being so lax and lackadaisical and not focus driven. You know what I'm saying? That's why we end up where we at, man. So
Yeah.
talk about strategy. We got to have a strategy all the way around, man. And I know
Yeah.
I went off on a little tangent because me, I get to talk about the community stuff, man.
It's
But
all good. It's all good.
about anything I said, man.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they, TikTok, Facebook, all the stuff, but it's all marketed for that to keep attention, right? But it's keeping the attention of not, I wouldn't say the wrong people, but it kind of is the wrong people, right? Because that's not what social media is targeted for. It's not targeted for young kids and anybody really that's younger than 16 that's has other stuff to be doing. You know what I'm saying? It's targeted toward, okay, you're an adult now. Let me interrupt you so you can buy something, so you can buy some of these clothes or buy whatever. So that's what it's meant for. But everybody take it too far, and then they think that social media is life, and that is a whole nother aspect of it, right? People hurting themselves and hurting other people because somebody said on the internet or social media. Like, people got to learn, like, one, social media is not a game. Like, there's real people out there in the world that will find you for saying something wrong and out the way on the internet. So I think a lot of people have learned that lesson. Actually, it's all good until somebody puts you in the mouth. Yeah. So that's a big thing. And like, the beauty standards is gotten crazy for females and stuff like that. Got kids hurting themselves and being cyberbullied and all this other stuff. Like, I'm so, like, against anything like that with kids, like, because I know my kids just got a phone, and if anything like that happens, I will definitely go to them kids' house. Like, I talk to their parents. If their parents got a problem, we can meet outside. Like, I am so not about that. Like, let's keep it cool. Let's keep it cordial. Like, hey, if I bring a problem to you as a parent, you should be willing to be like, all right, I'm gonna tell my kid to chill out or whatever. But if you on the same wave as your kid and y'all both wrong, then y'all need to act right. And it's just whatever happens. I'm not a violent person at all, but when it comes to kids and stuff like that, I tend to get out of character.
Yeah, you're gonna do your job as protector. You know what I'm saying?
I tend to get out of character. So yeah, it's crazy. Just social media in general is just crazy.
Yeah, it is, man. And like, once again, that goes back to strategy, man. We have to look at life as not just something to live and just party and just have fun. And like, life, everything you do should be strategic in some form of fashion, especially when it gets to like your kids, your schooling, your finances, the different things. Like, everything should be a strategy to it. Like, if your kid in school, you should have a strategy. Y'all should be talking about the bullies. Y'all should be, you know what I'm saying? You should be breaking down, like, you should tell them what they might expect and this and that. Like, all this stuff needs to be figured out way before, because my thing is, a lot of kids get sent into these, especially public schools, and everybody know how I feel about that, but I'm not even gonna go there, because most kids gonna go to public school regardless. So it's me talking about how much I hate public school, whatever, but at least prepare them for what they're gonna see. Because I tell every kid, every parent this, over the years of me mentoring, the way your kids start public school, and by the end of the year, they're gonna be a different person. It's your job to kind of monitor that and kind of keep your grips on that and make sure it don't go off the deep end, because they can't help it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're around, when they start school, they're with them more than with the parents, because they at school till about 3-4 o'clock. If some of them got after school stuff, 5 o'clock, they go home, they eat, they go to sleep, and they wake up and do it all over again. They spend most of their life with these other kids. So the influence is going to happen automatically. No matter what you do, you could be the best parent in the world. If you send your kid into a certain environment 8-10 hours a day, that's going to start rubbing off on them in some type of way. You know what I'm saying? It's no getting around that. So we have to understand that, and the kids that's not prepared for what they're seeing, not prepared for the peer pressure. And like I tell people, I've never been peer pressured a day in my life. And I did some stuff, but everything I did is on my own. Why? Because my mama had me prepared about peer pressure and everybody ain't your friend and don't be no follower, be a leader. Like, my mama put that into me young. So that's why I started the way. That's why I never had a pair of Jordans in my life. Not because I hated Jordan. I love Jordan. I never had a pair of Jordans because my mama told me not to be a follower, and everybody had on Jordans. So that instilled in me to this day. I still haven't never bought a pair of Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Because you see, but like in these kids these days that I mentor, they all want to follow each other. They all want to be like the person on the social media. It's just a bunch of followers, and there's nobody saying I want to do that because they doing it. Because that's how I was. That's why I'm like you know what I'm saying? Like we gotta stop this at home first when they complain about the or they taking out history and stuff. I'm like, I never really learned a lot of Black history anyway in school besides like a little slavery and MLK. I don't even remember learning a lot of Black history. But why they not already learning that from community groups or community organizations or community youth groups that you already got them a part of? Why they ain't going to school already knowing this? I don't need my kid to go to school and hear Christopher Columbus discovered America. My kid would be like, nah, because how you discover something that somebody was already there. You know, you see what I'm saying? Like we should already have that instilled into them, and then all that other stuff that hits them when they get out there in the world, they'll be able to shield it out because they already know better. They already like, nah, I heard this before. Nah, that's a game, that's a joke, and a lot of so. That's what I'm saying is my mentorship and what I'm trying to do with the CEO Youth League. That's the thing we're trying to break. We don't have the system to just have a good school everybody that can go to. So what we can do is start giving them educational forums, like we building the website and all that, and we can equip them so when they do go into school, they're gonna be more knowledgeable about stuff. They're gonna know about finances and all this, but they're gonna know about life too, and they're gonna know about different things and how to handle the person over here and if somebody, oh man, let's go do this. Oh no, I'm not being no follower. I'm not going to jail with you. I'm not going to throw I'm not going to get in trouble. Like we have programs that build that up in these kids, so these kids say no with pride. Because I used to say no with pride. Like one of my big homie Steve that died like a few years back. And I want to be like him. He was this big Crip dude, right? But I want to be like him. I used to wear my Stars jeans and everything, right? But he told me he gained so much respect because when I was 11, he wanted me to be in a gang. And I told him, I ain't getting no gang. All I want to do is make money. I said, it's real people on, and I got family members as Bloods, and I got some real partners as Crips, and it's real and fake on both sides. I was telling my older homie this at 11 years old. How many 11 years old going to be able to tell their homies that now? They're going to follow whatever the big homies say they're going to do. But at that age, I was already man enough to look at my big homie and say, I love you, but no, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to instill in these kids. Have pride in being different. Have pride in telling people I ain't doing nothing stupid like that. Have pride in saying, are y'all going to say I'm soft if I don't go rob this store with you? Okay, I'll be the softest person around then. I ain't going. I'm going this way. You know? So that I went off on once again a tangent, but that it goes back to strategy because everything I do is strategize. Like when I'm talking to the kids, how we talk about the stocks, how I take our conversation with the stocks and then I put it into the people that I'm helping. You know what I'm saying? That's part of me. And how I use it for myself. Like once again, I'm not no guru. I'm not none of that. I'm a person that's just talking about what I'm doing and figuring out on the go. It's like on the job training. I'm like, hey, what I'm doing over here kind of working. I'm from where y'all from. I used to think it was crazy too.
I was working a little bit over here.
I used to think it was crazy too. I ain't gonna lie. I used to think it was a scam too. I ain't gonna lie. But hey, this is real over here, man. You know, so it brings it more legit to them because they're like, for real? You know, so they take my word for it. You know, so that's my part. So that's all I want to say, man. But we're gonna get ready to end this because I know what the time is. You said it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you finna go to work or you finna lay down a little bit? How your day started, your day ending, or what's going on here?
My day ending. I'm finna ending but starting, I guess.
Man, you better go get you a couple of hours, man.
I will.
Get you a couple of hours, man. And like I say, for my family, go to the website. Dang, I took the other one out already.
That's all right.
I put both of them in there. But next week we're gonna be going live from Facebook and hopefully my introduction will be on. And what I'm gonna do is if I build an introduction, we'll build like the sites and stuff, like a credit coming in, like when it's coming on. So I'll talk to you over the weekend, man. But I'm gonna let you know any last words before we get up out of here, man, about anything you want to let the people know.
Thanks, Double V, bringing that up again. It just hurt my soul. Bringing up Meta, bringing up Facebook. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, man, it's definitely a long game. When you invest in, make sure you're investing for the long haul. That's how you get the money. That's how you get the gains and build your wealth. It's a cycle, and over time, that's what builds your wealth. It's not buying and selling all the time. It's buying and then learning to do something else while you're buying. So, yeah, no, you're good, W. I'm just messing with you. We just bring it up that I had Facebook when it was $50 a share, and I sold it. Now it's at 700 plus, and I'm over here just hurting every day, just taking a little piece of me.
I think I got in like 300-400. So I've been doing a little jumping in here and there. That's not one of my biggest plays, but I throw some money on it. But yeah, I was real well. I ain't gonna say I late because it's almost a double, right? Because I started
Yeah.
like 3 something
Yeah.
and it's at 7 something, so it is at a double. But once again, in 20 years, when it's at 3, 4, 5,000, 700 gonna look like a steal.
Yeah, a few times and all that.
Yeah. So hey,
yeah.
it's the long game, man. If you in it for the long game, you're gonna be all right, especially when you're in solid companies
For sure.
in America, man. Just buying businesses, and that's one thing I want to lead the crowd with tonight. That we always trying to start a business because where we from, most of us ain't doing nothing but working or going play sports. So if somebody start a business. I used to be like that. Couldn't tell me nothing because I started a business, and I ain't know that, man. I could have been buying into American businesses, saying 10, 15, 20 years ago when that stuff was half 80 to 50% cheaper than it is now, and I'd have been farther off buying into businesses instead of spending all my money to start a business.
Yep. Could have been millionaires already.
Crash. Oh yeah, no, it just, hey, all you did, you didn't survive a crash. You survived. You got in at a super cheap price. You know what I'm saying? That's all you gotta do. That's why it's good to have a little money to the side. Cause when it do crash, you just buy more, and it's gonna bring your price down, and you're gonna be all right. So don't even say you survived a crash. Say you the crash gave you a better position to get back up in that thing.
Yeah, because it wasn't a crash. I mean, we hadn't really had a crash since like 2008. And then before that, it was like 2000. So it wasn't a crash.
In 2008 is when I started realizing that so many people got richer during the crash. That's when it really started connecting that people get rich in crashes.
Yeah.
I still didn't jump in personally, but it started connecting because when Obama came back and saved all those industries and then it took off again, I was like, hold on. Everybody was just screaming about a crash 2-3 years ago. Now everybody's talking about how many multi-millionaires that was made off the crash. So that's when I started realizing that this is a great thing. Oh yeah, no, keep tuning in. We here every Wednesday night. You know what I'm saying? Just come tap in with us. And Kempo, we got programs coming out. So just tap in, follow. Tell me where to follow you again on Facebook or Instagram.
It's at Tremaine Kelly on Facebook and TK222001 on Instagram. But yeah, I got a program. Actually, if you want to get in right now, if you just learning this game of stocks and everything, you can go to bit.ly. Let me put it. Actually, I'll send it so we can put it on the screen. And then I got a course coming out for investing, and right now we're pre-launching it, so you get a big discount right now. And then we're gonna start next week. And then you can get in now if you want for the low, cheap price, and then after that the price is gonna go up. So if you like to join, please do. We'll put the website up here in just a second. You can go there. You can see everything you're gonna get. The course, some coaching calls, weekly coaching calls, some tools to help you invest better. And we're gonna make this real easy, and we're not gonna make it complicated. We're not gonna be pulling out charts and have you reading charts and all that type of stuff, because we know everybody don't have time for that, and everybody doesn't have that capacity, right? That skill set to want to learn that, to sit down for hours a day to look at stocks and look at charts. So the course is gonna make it real easy. So get in if you can. It'd be great. During the pre-launch, you'll be able to get the one-on-one feedback that you're looking for. So I have spots in there for questions. Every week after a video is posted, you can ask questions. I'll have weekly coaching calls where we could be on Zoom and ask your questions and get your questions answered like a one-on-one type style. So, other people in the course as well, but I'll be answering you directly. So, yeah, you'll definitely get your money's worth.
Sure, man. Thank you for tapping in and follow me on Wealth is Gangster on Instagram and Facebook. I'm about to start doing more live videos. I'm waiting on my phone to get here. I got a new iPhone for my content, so I'm gonna start doing like my little 1-2 minute little off the thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Thoughts and stuff that come to my mind. So I'm gonna get on that content side of it. You know, different little things. So Wealth is Gangster on Facebook and Instagram. You finna start seeing a lot of more content. It's definitely gonna see a lot of content Saturday because I'm gonna be in a great place to start off with content.
Yeah, I know about that.
That's a good kickoff to my content era.
Sure. Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna tap up out of here, man. I appreciate you, family, for jumping on, man. And we'll be you know, I'll be in contact with you, you know, but definitely I'll see you next Wednesday for another episode, man. So thank y'all for tapping in, and we'll see y'all next week.
Thank you.
Peace.